sometimes the things have to go splat. Like,
We're splatted.
you
want it to be more splatted than this?
No, I don't.
We are literally like Humpty Dumpty. Are you kidding? It's like...
I mean, I've talked to some people who live in the Palisades and one in Altadena who have changed their political worldview precisely because of the mismanagement you're talking about. But they lost everything. That's a splat. It's impossible to know how to introduce you.
I don't think anything's impossible for you.
I'm telling you, I don't even know how to introduce. I mean, are you a farmer? Are you a serial entrepreneur? Are you a TV sensation? Are you a real estate mogul? What do you prefer?
I mean, at the moment, I prefer saving California and fixing our beautiful Los Angeles after the fires.
Jagged little pill.
Czar.
Work?
I want to be a czar.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I like it.
I need a job. I need Trumpy Trump to give me a job. As the czar, I need some position of power so that I can get rid of all these people making such a muck of it.
Genuinely, I want to better understand because just so people know, I'm meeting you for the first time, which is unusual with this podcast. You know, it is. You live with a guy named Tim who's friends with a guy named John who called me a couple of weeks ago and said, Mike, this guy Tim and this woman Elaine, she's on some kind of vision quest, and I think you're really going to like her. And there's a bunch of triangulating you can do, both with the Discovery Channel, and went down a list of other things. And turns out you also know Grant Cardone. Turns out you also work for Discovery from time to time. So let's just start there, since we each are bound to know some Discovery people.
When COVID happened, a friend of mine reached out. His name's Glenn Stearns, and he had a very successful show called Undercover Billionaire.
Yep.
And they were doing season 2. I mean, you can't be an undercover billionaire twice.
Right.
So he had to put together a team.
Your secret's blown.
You're outed. And so he put together a team, and I was one of the very lucky people to be chosen. Now, not necessarily billionaires. These are hardworking people that he felt could actually do the job, which is scale the business to $1 million with nothing but $100.
So they give you $100. They don't tell you where you're going.
Nothing.
They basically drop you off in some burg, give you a beater of a car, 90 days and $100. What did you do?
For anyone who hasn't watched the show, it's season 2. You can still download it on Discovery Plus and watch it. And I completely by accident tried to stay at a hostel, which wasn't actually a hostel, but it looked like a hostel. And I turned it into the greatest business. It took a while to get there, and I was terrified. I was in the middle of Fresno, and we've now, grown to love Fresno. It took me about maybe 2 or 3 weeks of being there to see all of the undeveloped talent in that town. What did you
do with the hostel that wasn't a hostel?
I made it a essential business. It was COVID. It didn't have windows and doors. It had to be an essential business or it had to be shut down. So I was like, okay, essential. Groceries are essential. Food is essential. Farming is essential. We have to do something in food and farming. And having a little bit of experience, and I don't want to say I had a lot of experience. I have a farm in Fallbrook. I bought the ranch because I needed a place for horses and my dogs and my swans and my turtle and my stuff. So I'm like, I gotta get this ranch.
Sorry, swans?
And it's so I have a lot of animals.
How many swans you got?
I have 3.
What do you call them?
Robbie and Israel, and the third is unnamed.
Why?
Because I haven't thought of a name yet.
How about Gibbons?
Okay, what is it?
Orlando Gibbons wrote a famous madrigal called The Silver Swan, who living had no note when death approached, unlocked its silent throat, leaning her breast against a reedy shore, thus sang her first and last and sang no more.
Are you
Something like that.
Are you hitting on me?
A little bit. Okay. Farewell all joy, O death, come close my eyes. More geese than swans now live. More fools
I love it.
than wise. Orlando Gibbons.
Gibbons.
Gibbons, yeah.
So, and Gibbons could be a boy or a girl name.
Could be.
Well, I haven't probed the swan, so it has to be a girl-boy name.
Probed, you mean
Yes.
examined.
Yes.
Do you prefer not to know the gender of the swan?
No, I'd like to know because I had a mated pair and they haven't made babies since the babies came.
Because they mate for life, you know.
I know,
That's
but
a heck
one
of
of
a
them's
thing.
interfering, and I don't know which one is which anymore.
But how do you keep them from flying away?
Oh, one is pinioned. They just don't. I don't think they know they can fly.
Pinioned, Chuck. You familiar with that term?
No,
Yeah.
should I look it up?
No.
It's something they
She'll
do to
just
the
tell you.
wing so they can't,
Yeah, it's a
You have to do it right when they're born, though. And
it's a
I would
Latin
never do
for
it.
cutting them off.
I didn't do
gonna
it myself, though, by the way. And so the reason the other two aren't is because I couldn't. So there you go.
Yeah.
But the first one I got pinioned.
So is it a farm or a ranch?
It's both.
What do you grow?
Row vegetables, avocado, or lots of citrus, lemon, lime, seasonal, have a farm stand, do CSA.
What's that?
CSA, community supported agriculture.
I see.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Great.
into farming.
All right.
And I left the ranch to go to Fresno. And so I had a little bit of experience. I mean, even though my farming partner is really the farmer, I had a delivery business during COVID of vegetables to all my friends in LA and Beverly Hills, which was really funny. I started this idea that maybe we should do, fresh farm delivery out of this essential business. We got bags and we started a business, and I opened a bar outside. I opened a coffee shop.
What'd you call it?
It's called Shep's Club. It used to be called Shepherd's Inn.
So Shep's Club, is it still in Fresno?
It is. It's still in Fresno.
it's
It's right on. It's right across from the Greyhound bus station and the train track.
You should write vacation brochures. But it's a going concern.
It's a going business. And the thing about, I had said this to many people, is like, it's the testimony of whether or not a business can survive with a television show is after the television show is done, if it keeps going. And it's kept going. And the guy that runs it's a really smart cookie. So
I just want a quick sidebar. I'm not quite bitter or broken, but I'm skeptical. I'm deeply skeptical of the reality genre, because when I entered it 22 years ago, there was that like a brief shining moment where it lived up to its name. And Dirty Jobs was a truly honest show. How honest is Undercover Billionaire?
I can't speak for everybody, but for me, they did zero for me. There was one point where I stayed in the hotel with the crew when the crime rate was so bad and they lit the back of the building on fire. And that night, I stayed at their place where they were staying, the Hilton. They pulled me out. But for the most part, they were like ixnay. I even had a night camera girl, Lauren, who was so amazing. And she was so terrified. She's like, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm like, no, you are staying here with me.
So they really filmed this thing over the course of 3 months?
Yeah, 90 days.
Every day you're on camera?
Every day. It's and at night. Like sleeping, washing, driving.
Why did you accept?
Because it was COVID and everything was so boring and
You were
closed, and
bored.
I was just like out of my mind at the ranch.
Okay, this is important. I'm writing down the word bored because I don't want to forget it. And honestly, what little I do know about you does speak to a chronic and unusual work ethic.
Why not do it? Is what how bad, what's the worst thing that could happen,
Reputational loss, profound humiliation, loss of consortium.
Not a worry. Who cares?
It's just occurred to me, Chuck, I've never said loss of consortium on this
I
podcast.
don't believe I've ever heard you say that either.
I don't even know what that really means.
Chuck, you want to explain that to
Yes,
her?
loss of
No, I do
consortium.
not.
I feel like the best you can do, or as my dad used to say, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. So
What'd your old man do?
he was a fighter pilot. And a good one. Yeah.
Army,
He flew-
Navy?
He was Air Force, and he flew F-100s and F-111s.
No kidding.
Yep.
So you're an Army brat.
I am an Air Force brat.
Soon may the noblemen come to bring a bottle for everyone. One day when the waiting is done, we'll take a drink and go.
Where'd you grow up?
Germany, England. My mom's British. My mom's an orphan. She grew up in an orphanage. Her parents were, as she says, blitzed during the war. And so I have this great mom and dad, They're amazing. Well, my dad's passed away, but he's still amazing to me every day.
You ever change the fuel cell on a KC-135R Stratotanker?
Good God, no.
You would love it.
No, but I've gassed up my tractor plenty of times.
What kind of tractor?
I have a Kubota, which is pretty reliable. And the other one's like a GMC. It's old and it's not reliable.
We had a Massey Ferguson growing up and a John Deere and an International harvester.
I have a couple cranes too, but I don't know what they are. Scout maybe is one.
Scout makes cranes?
And
yeah.
I don't know what the other. I have a lot of equipment at the ranch.
Now, when you say cranes, you are referring to the mechanical device, not the distant cousin to the aforementioned swan. Because if you have swans and cranes,
You know what? I
What?
might be the only person that has both.
get out of here.
I have cranes at the pond, and I have cranes that you lift things with.
You are like, so it's all creatures great and small. You're an animal lover?
They're the best things on the planet, and every single one of them, wild and domestic. I love animals. We're so like them too.
Well, I mean, yeah, we are part of the kingdom.
One time I got a phone call from somebody at my house that said, Elaine, you need to come home because there's a crane in the house. And I was like, well, why would the guys put the crane in the house? And it was...
That's a fair question. Fair question.
Yeah. And they sent me a picture of this like beautiful, long, black bird. He was gray. The ones that come by our thing are gray because not to be confused with the herrings, which are white.
Yeah.
And he had his head down in the chandelier and he was hiding in this giant chandelier. I have a picture of his. I'm going to send you the picture. And he was trying to hide in the chandelier to not be seen.
I'd like to see that picture.
Insane.
Taylor, where were we with the birds?
In King City, you talking about the falcon?
No. The ones that attacked me. I had the broom, and I had to keep them away with the broom. Somebody's got to do it.
Storks?
Whooping
cranes.
It was
Yes,
whooping cranes.
Those are big birds.
They are big birds, and they're very protective. And when you're around them, because they'll imprint when they're young on whatever is raising them. So you've got to dress like a crane, like you wear a burqa and these white sheets. You look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and you have to whisper. You always
This
whisper.
is not real.
I swear to God, it's real.
Well, you were wearing like a little burqa with it.
It wasn't so little. I mean, look at me. I mean, European. There I am, right there.
And there's the burqa.
Yeah, that's me wearing a burqa. Well, that's not. That's me trying to fend off these cranes.
Oh, yeah, and he was mad.
But those are the burqas. Yeah.
Oh, look how cute. Was this a Dirty Jobs thing?
No, it was called
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been doing the same show for 22 years, Elaine. I just changed the title every 6 or 7.
Someone's got to do it. It's a great job name.
Well, you know what?
Someone's got to do a lot of things right now, okay?
Well, it's so funny because I said to Chuck when we were just kind of pitching the idea of you and not yet knowing, right? But I'm like, this woman is on a mission. And what's got to be done in the Palisades, and I think in Altadena and in California in general, I promise we're going to get to it, but I'm not yet fully satisfied that we can jump into your mission until we understand even more. Like, as an entrepreneur, I don't want to make this gross, but you're a woman of means. Obviously, you're on Undercover Billionaire. You said you're not a billionaire, but I'm guessing you're well-heeled.
I was for a long time. I started out with, well, I mean, my mom was a school teacher when she finally was able to work. And my father was retired military. He worked for Jepson, so he was a technical writer. He's a very bright guy. And we lived in a modest home in Aurora, Colorado. I was entrepreneurial from a very young age. I started a shoe shine company. All my girlfriends worked for me.
How old?
I was like maybe 16.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And my first job was a job. It's the only job I had, but I didn't get paid hourly. I got paid by the lead, and I worked for Train Heating and Air Conditioning, and I would call up and do these home surveys. I was probably 14 or 15. I'd be like, hello, I'm Train Heating and Air Conditioning. We'd like to come to your house and do a survey. I wish I had your voice, because that would have I would have doubled down on the money per
You know
lead.
how weird you would be with my voice? Your face, my voice?
That would truly be a voice for radio, right? I would just have to hide behind something. And then when I went off to Arizona to go to school, I took shoe shine stands with me, and I started this pretty big shoe shine company and sold it.
What was it called?
It was called Ragtime.
Ragtime?
Ragtime, like ragtime.
Ragtime.
Yeah, like
Ragtime Joe played an old piano in a honky-tonk
There-
cafe. When anyone requested a brand new tune, here's what Ragtime Joe would say. There'll be no new tunes on this old piano of mine. There'll be no boogie-woogie and none of that jazz or any other kind of that razzmatazz. We'll sing about Swanee, the old folks at home, the wide open spaces where the buffalo roam, but there'll be no new tunes on this old piano of mine.
I like that song.
It's a
I don't
great
think
song.
I've ever had anyone speak it to me.
Well, it's a big day for both of us.
It's my first big ragtime day. So after Ragtime,
What'd you sell it for? Is it rude to ask?
Gosh, it's like maybe a couple $100,000. Not a lot.
So you're 17, 18?
Yeah, I was young.
In Aurora.
I was 21, 22.
You're a military brat. You're in your early 20s, and you sell a shoe shine business for a few $100,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What'd your parents think of that?
I don't think they understood it. I think they were like,
mean, they'd
"You
never
just
seen that
did
kind of
what?"
money.
I think they must have thought I was doing something far more nefarious, for sure.
That is so wild. I mean, your pop must have been proud, though.
I think he was very proud of me. I mean, my dad always gave me good advice, but my dad was the opposite of extravagant. He didn't like
Frugal,
anything
parsimonious.
flashy. Yeah, nothing flashy ever. And so I had to be very careful about, talking or bragging. It's unbecoming and not allowed. When I came to Los Angeles after school, I was very interested in this weird, I was going back to Europe and buying antiques and coming back and forth. And I got very interested in the vintage Levi business. I thought, what a fascinating, and I love vintage. I'm wearing a pair right now, by the way, if anybody hasn't noticed.
I did notice
and
that.
I thought I love American companies. I always have. And I thought Levi's is such an incredible company. And the shoe shine, this is the craziest story. Do we have time? Okay.
Nothing but time.
In the industry of rag business, so if you're cleaning like oil in a shop, there's rag companies, and essentially they take in all sorts of like remnant rags, towels and jeans and sheets from places, and they're called rag companies. They're all over downtown LA.
Yep.
And in these rag businesses, they wash the stuff and then they deliver it to your mechanic shop. So the biggest expense that I had in the shoe shine company when I had like 30 cents was rags, because you had to keep changing them out, polish
Chuck,
and
you
rags.
know what I need you to find.
Yeah, I think so.
Go ahead and find it.
I'm afraid to
Go
ask.
ahead.
Okay, so this rag business, I was downtown in this big rag place one day. And when I say big, I'm talking about maybe like 300,000, 400,000 square feet, filled from the floor to the ceiling with big piles of fabric and jeans. And there was a jean pile. And I said to the guy, I'm like, how much are the jeans if I just use jeans? And he goes, it's like 7 cents a pound. Can't get rid of the stuff. And I was like, I'll take all of it. So I went to every rag company and I bought every pile of rags at every company. And I wound up getting this baker's building out in Sherman Oaks.
Wait. Denim?
Denim.
You're buying denim.
I just bought denim.
Okay.
I took it out to this building in Sherman Oaks. A friend of mine owned a food truck business that did movie sets called the Cast Supper. So cute. I took over this bakery and I had all my jeans all over the place. And I graded them. I put them on a grading scale, A being the best ones, all the way down to shorts, where you had to cut them off. Levi's, Wrangler, vintage, not vintage, everything. And I made up prices and I sold them. And I made so much money selling jeans. It was insane. In Europe, I had European buyers. Everyone's like, I was the queen of Levi's.
But you're selling existing brands. Is that right? Like
Mostly Levi's. Levi's was really kind of it. I had probably the largest private Levi collection. Period.
And what was this business called?
It didn't have a name. I was so busy, so fast, and so trying to figure out what was the way to really like turn it into real estate, because that's all I was obsessed with, buying real estate. And what I found is the Italian kind of merchant business in Rimini, Italy, was where the Japanese would come to buy the jeans. And the guy that was my middleman guy that would buy them and fly out here and buy containers, it was all cash business. And he was very serious about this business. Like, he knew way more about it than I did. And he was gaming me. That's the thing. Like, I didn't know what they were really worth. So yeah, that was my.
So how long did you run this nameless business?
I did it for 2 years, long enough that I could buy like real estate, and then I bought real estate.
And how much you sell it for? That's not too.
I didn't sell it. I sold out of the goods. I ran out of material. I couldn't get any more jeans.
But you made enough money to make your next move. I'm also fascinated in that last exchange by the fact that you had a whole denim thing. I just created a mess on social media when I posted Sydney Sweeney's thing with the good jeans thing, because I did a commercial. I used to work for Lee and Wrangler. I had my mom in a series of commercials talking about good jeans as well. I just mention all of this because I'm slowly getting the listeners' permission to get to the reason that I know you agreed to come here, but we're not there yet.
Did you see the Hillary Clinton bad jeans ad?
Yes.
I just wanted to know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. And I think this is relevant enough to mention because we're going to get into politics in a minute. But I think, like, I'm getting a lot of heat right now. Do you know who Nick Searcy is? He's an actor. He was on Justified, Fried Green Tomatoes. He's been around for a long time.
I'm sorry, Nick. I don't know who you are.
Well, he made a movie called Capital Punishment. And he was at January 6th. And he saw something very different than what most of us see and made a movie about it. Anyway, I had him on, and he told his story. And I don't obsess over comments, but it is interesting how people are still right on the knife's edge. And when they hear something they don't like, man, they can't help but tell the world about it. You know, it's really, people are fragile. And they're upset with me because a guy named Nick sat here and told a story that they didn't like. And I think we're still in that world, because it felt like for a while that maybe we got past it a little bit.
God, I hope I don't get you in more trouble.
I mean, it's sirens and motorcycles.
Okay, first, before I say anything, I just want you guys to know that Mike has no idea what I'm about to say. I'm just going to say
Thank you.
And I don't know if you have the luxury of editing, but if you don't, I'm sorry.
No, this is live
Look,
right now,
people
actually.
need to toughen up. I mean, it's, if you weren't having any of the rhetoric beginning before 2016, but starting in 2016, if you believed that there was no laptop, if you believed that if you didn't get a vaccine, you were going to kill your grandmother, if you thought that people that were protesting that went into the Capitol were truly criminals, if you bought into all that stuff, that's too bad, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, now there is more than enough evidence that there was a laptop. There is more than enough evidence that forcing people to take vaccines was probably not a great idea. There is more than enough evidence that many people that were in the Capitol were just curious and upset. And I feel like if you can't see that, you can't see anything. You can't see anything. Just accept the basics.
We talk a lot about the elephant on this podcast. The blind man grabbing the tusk and concluding he's holding on to a statue made of ivory, or the tail, or the leg, and coming to a different conclusion, or the trunk and coming to an altogether different conclusion. But yeah, look, the evidence demands a verdict, but the evidence is not limited to a tusk or a trunk.
Right.
There's a lot to look at.
There's a huge body of evidence.
Right.
What's the story of the saying that Mark Twain, I know you know it, about convincing somebody of the truth is easy, but convincing them that they've been duped is impossible?
That's right. Yeah, that's a great one.
I love that you know this stuff.
Well, it's a lot easier to convince somebody that...
Let me look it up.
Look it up. Something was wrong. Well, he also said, in the time it takes a man to put his pants on, that a lie gets around the world.
The truth takes a long time to get around the world, but a lie gets around the world like that. Yeah.
It's like reputations too. The reputation of a town, like Baltimore or Albuquerque, it's like the reputation of a man. You work all your life on a thing, and in one moment there's a riot or a murder, or maybe it's Freddie Gray, or maybe The Wire. Right, shot in Baltimore, one of the best shows ever made. But as a result, poor Joan in Boise is pretty sure the only reason to go to my hometown is to, buy some heroin or hire a crack whore because of that show. And Breaking Bad did the same thing to Albuquerque. And so,
Albuquerque's a mess.
Yeah, it is.
I got the quote. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled.
That's right.
We just have such an opportunity for the first time in so long to just consider that it might not all be true, that there might be a lot of nonsense that we've been fed.
I think, what I think?
What's wrong with that?
I've been reading this guy. His name is Jeff Childers,
okay.
Unless it's Childers.
Yeah, it could be either one.
I'm not sure. Yeah. He made the point this morning when he was talking about D.C., and I don't know if you've been to D.C. recently, but we just filmed a movie there not long ago, and there's some lovely parts. The mall still looks great, but boy, it's bad. And it's self-evident. You just can't deny it unless you're in the emperor's new clothes, unless you're the townspeople looking straight at the naked emperor and going, oh, bravo, that looks great. That's the thing that I thought we were largely past. But we're not. We're not there yet. And it's so strange. Rather than argue the fact that maybe there's a better way to deal with the problem than mobilize every LEO in the country, what comes back over the net is there is no problem.
Wait, what's LEO?
Law enforcement officers.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Okay,
so you got the FBI, you got the everybody.
I just didn't know the acronym.
Well, but so this was Jeff's point this morning, one of several. He's like, we're still doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying the Republicans or the conservatives or the president is correct in this course of action. I'm simply saying that if you're going to take the opposite view, you can either say, I wouldn't do that. I would do this instead. But that's not happening. What comes back is Chuck Schumer literally says out loud, I feel perfectly safe walking around D.C. Chuck Schumer has 22 Secret Service people. And he's walking around the mall. He's not walking in these other areas. And then everybody jumps onto that. And I don't mean to make this as political as it's sounding, but the media will pick up the narrative and go, okay, so there's no problem. The whole thing is a gaslight. And so normal people look at all of that and go, what is there a problem or isn't there a problem? Instead of saying, obviously there's a problem, maybe we can disagree or possibly agree or discuss the best way to remedy all of that. And so that's what I mean. We haven't moved past the fact that, well, if they say black, the other side says white. We're not quite to the point where maybe even with the Palisades, maybe even with the thing you really came here to talk about, but we're not quite ready to do it yet, maybe the same applies. Maybe they see it and they see two different things.
I think we're turning the tide. I don't have anywhere near the opposition that I used to have. You know, my friends have stopped calling me an anti-vaxxer. I mean, at least I'm past that. Mm-hmm. My friends have stopped calling me a, Trumper or Trump this or you like Trump when I simply wanted a more fiscal educated president. I wanted somebody that understood working and signing the front of a paycheck. It wasn't really that I, had an opinion one way or another. Going back in history about when I might have been what you call red-pilled, it would have to go back to Benghazi. Because for me, that was just such a weird thing, like to witness and really try to put the pieces together. But it didn't fully set in. And I went to the 2016 inauguration because I was invited. I just wanted to go to the parties. Mm-hmm. I didn't really even pay I didn't vote and I didn't care. I just wanted to go to all the parties because these people that invited me were doing the whole inauguration. They're like, you should come. It's going to be great. I was like, okay, I'll go. And I went. Yeah. And all my friends here were like, are you going to the march? And I was like, what? Like it, and I had such a grand time. And I did go to the march. And it was so weird. And Madonna was like screaming on the I mean, it was just... The inauguration was perfectly beautiful and the parties were fun. I mean, Texas can throw a hell of a party.
Oh my God. I was there.
Oh my gosh.
I was there this year.
The Lucchese boot thing. And this is insane. So that was like the only reason I went. And so I have had a fairly consistent migration into the mindset that I now have. Just
to close the loop on this, you got the denim thing, you sold the thing, and then you get into real estate and that was your wish fulfillment. And
it was. I love it.
So
I love development. I like building things.
Are you more a developer or
I started out
a salesperson?
I didn't have any money. No, I don't sell anything. I've had no money and lots of money and no money and lots of money. It's always up and down, and it doesn't really bother me like it bothers some people, which is, I think, a key important, trait of a real entrepreneur. It's really not the money. It's really the kind of the experience and the journey of it all. Sorry,
to go way back for a minute. Was there a bet on Billionaire? Like, did you have to put up money?
Yeah, $50,000.
So you bet $50,000?
Mm-hmm. I said I'd bet them $500,000 if they wanted it in cash because I was so thought it was so ridiculous that they thought it was impossible to do. I was like, it's easy. It'll be done. I'm going to get it done. I was so confident until I got there. And then I was like, whoa. I was so overly confident until I got there. I learned a very big lesson because I had been out of the scrappy business, of really throwing deals together and at just no holds barred, just figure out how to duct tape and staple it together for so long that I had to get back to that. And it took me a minute because I'm not me. I'm this person that has nothing. So I can't act like that.
Right.
And so it just took me a second, but I figured it out. It just took a minute.
In terms of properties that you own or manage or have developed, not to get, again, forgive me, I don't mean to make it personal, but I think this is going to be very, very relevant when the audience hears what you really came here to talk about. You're invested in this state. You're invested in the Palisades. I'm just wondering roughly to what degree.
80% of my portfolio is in the Palisades. And there's literally no clear a way to evaluate what it's worth. And that should be very scary to everybody else. And I know it's what's troubling Rick Caruso.
How much did you lose in the fires?
Maybe, 18% if you take the, like what burned and what can be repaired. But the issue, well, first of all, let's get back to the fact that like certain things in real estate are fundamentally easier to do, even though they might be hard work. Like if you buy an old home and you fix it up and you flip it, that is easier to do if you're willing to put the work in and do it yourself and get in there. But if you want to buy a piece of land and develop it, you need a lot of different things that are not easy to do yourself, like a really good land use attorney or a really good soils engineer or a civil engineer. And then you need a planning person and a permitting person. And you start to go through this process, and it's not just incredibly laborious, but it's also very expensive. The Pacific Palisades and also Malibu, but probably more so Malibu, entitlements are very challenging to obtain. And an entitlement, for anybody who doesn't know, is the ability to build whatever is permitted to be built there. So if you have a piece of raw land that's unentitled, it's not really worth anything. Once you get a permit for a house or you get a permit for a building, now you've entitled it to whatever that design is.
And those entitlements are issued by local government or by the state?
Well, there's some zoning that's, already set in place, but it's definitely local government. It's the local building department. But the Department of Building and Safety is a big quagmire. There's a lot that goes on there, and they're understaffed, and they work ridiculous hours. They work so hard, but there's so much bureaucracy and red tape and requirements and clearances that the people that run the building department and work in the building department, they don't have the power to say yes. They only have the power to say no. Mm-hmm. And that slows things down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, hearings, and you can't get anything entitled.
So in real time now, it's been what, 4 months?
No, baby, it's been 8 months.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 8. January 7th. What are we, August? What's today? 15th, 14th, something like that?
I can't believe it's been 8 months.
August 14th today.
August 14th.
Yeah.
Yep, it's been 8 months, and there's they opened up a satellite building department, sort of. It's not satellite. It's actually in West Los Angeles. I'm going to just speak about the Palisades to unconfuse people. Let's not talk about all of it. Let's just talk about what I know really well. That building department is in the Sawtelle building department in West LA. It's called the One Stop. It's a great idea. It's supposed to go in there one stop. It's called One Stop and get your permits, but it doesn't work like that, number one. Number two, 1,541 people were in there, like I checked, like maybe at the 1st of August. 88 permits have been issued, and 18 of those permits are in the Palisades. Now, I know that I have stuff that I've been working on for a couple of years because I'm a developer. It's a lot easier for me to go to One Stop, so maybe the 1,541 people are not from the Palisades. And that's not okay. If our resources are for the people in the Palisades, we should be issuing one-stop permits for people in the Palisades as they come in the door. And we're not doing that.
Why do you think?
Can't. It goes back to the beginning of the conversation that we were having before the show. Like, there's a money issue in Los Angeles. We have poor management of our resources. That is, clearly explained when you just look at the fires to begin with. There's no brush clearance. There's no water. The fire hydrants don't work. We don't have enough staff on the fire department itself. And when your mayor's not in town, and then you have a meeting with Trump who came in and a bunch of promises are made and none are kept. So our resources aren't managed. Then you have this mobilization to do cleaning, which was provided by what's called the Biden MATOC, the FEMA. FEMA comes in. Mm-hmm. There's MATOCs and SATOCs. People don't know what they are, but if you're in big construction, which I have been, you know that there's kind of in an emergency response situation, you have to have a preparedness. You have to be ready. And so that means you have to already have in line who is going to mobilize for you. What cleaning company, what hauling company, what, check and balance, right, the accounting company, what traffic control company. And those people are in what's called a MATOC, which is a mandatory award outside contract thing that FEMA puts together. And then when the emergency happens, inevitably they always do, your mobilization team is ready and everyone gets in the plane and the cars and the trucks and they show up. Army Corps of Engineers, boom, there they are. And they are set up like a military outfit. So they're in theater. They're in theater. What are we doing? Okay, we're going to do opt-in. This is our first program. Go to everybody, find everybody, opt-in. Are you opting in? Are you sign up here? Everyone signs in. 6,800 opt-ins. Okay, great. Clean 600, 8,000 homes. The postage stamp of the home, simple lots, EPA comes in, military style. You know, if you're not opted in, go over and sign that line. That money, that 1.1 billion is federal. It is not Los Angeles. LA was standing around as an observer. In fact, in some cases, in the way. This is a military outfit in theater, cleaning up our streets and making sure everybody's okay.
When did they arrive?
They arrived like I think, 11th of January.
So that was fast.
Oh my God, they were quick as can be. I mean, Army Corps was on it.
Okay.
And also the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
They had everybody trying to figure out what to do to make sure that everyone was out. And what's frustrating is because we're so unorganized in Los Angeles, and I'm sorry, you know, to the people in LA that are not unorganized, because believe me, there's plenty of people in LA that are not as unorganized as the overall management. The issue is that you don't have a communication hub that is central for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the math is from the Army Corps organization. So when you say we're 80% done and you're at a microphone and you're Karen Bass, you're 80% done with what the Army Corps of Engineers is doing. And that's not fair, because that's not true. If you have 18,000 structures that are gone, and those structures are big and small structures, 25,000 people without a place to sleep and 100,000 people displaced, you don't say that when you're 80% done with 6,800 written down, organized by the Army Corps, you know, list of structures that were 80% done. It's just a straight up fabrication. And it's a fabrication of the math, and it gives false hope to people that we're further along than we are. Also, everything else is wrong. How many trucks are there? How much debris storage do we need? How much time do we need? How much time does the insurance company need?
Where does the debris storage? I mean, I keep reading about the landfills and the drama about where we're going to put it and how we're going to get it there, and trains and all of this. I mean, it's complicated. It's like you need to be a quartermaster. You're running a supply chain,
or have an accidentally weird skill set in railroad and in building.
right? Like, I mean, how do you?
Who knew?
So, like, let's just focus on the debris for a minute. How much is there, and where are we going to put it, and what's the holdup?
Okay, so everybody has their like secret little talents. Mine is a very weird talent. So I see empty space full in my head. I always have. It's how I like create things. I'm like, what's it going to look like when it's done? Like, whether it's land or a room. And when the Palisades burned, and I drove to Altadena and I went through Malibu, I was like, this is a million trucks. This is a million trucks of debris. It broke my heart. Like, it's just rubble. I mean, it's insane. It's so big. It's far bigger than Gaza.
Yeah.
Like, think of it like that. And it's flattened. And they're like, it's not going to be and 6,800. And it infuriates me because it's a million trucks.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. Because if you know it's a million, you can prepare for that. Instead, we just made it up. We let them make it up. And just like all the other narratives that you know are not true, we want to believe it's true. And they wanted to believe that 6,800 would do it. Army Corps is gone or going. They just got like finish up work.
You mean, wait a minute, 6,800 trucks would do the job?
Sorry, 6,800 homes.
Right.
Was the end of it. And by the way, there are over 400,000 trucks, and we're half cleaned up.
What's the reasonable expectation? Like, you're 8 months into a disaster of this magnitude. How much of the debris should be gone, in your opinion?
I don't think that the Army Corps and the efforts by FEMA were any less than 1,000% spot on and incredible. They were very organized. They were fast. They were clean. They were polite. They were truly like, it's going to be very hard to replace that outfit. And now it's independent contractors for people that did not opt in, or things that were not on the list for FEMA to clean, period. Very complicated lots and things that slope down, and big buildings and commercial stuff. There's a lot of stuff that was not on the opt-in list. Those people need a haul route. In order to move debris when you get a permit to build a house, you are going to be digging dirt, for example, because you're putting in a basement. where are you going to put the dirt? You go to the city and you say, I've got so many cubic yards of dirt. Where will I put it? And they're like, you can go this way. And you get a permit to take the dirt to a dump or to a specific landfill or place that needs dirt. That route is called a haul route. If it's massive quantities, you have to have a hearing for it and you get it approved. And the haul route hearing approves your direction on the road. You're going to go out, you're going to go left, you're going to go this way, you're on that freeway. Don't get off there or get off here. That's your haul route. When this first happened, there was this huge big mess. They were driving to all of the local landfills because they wanted to expedite the delivery of the debris out of the city. So Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom and everybody wrote all these executive orders, and one of them waived some of the toxicities that are in the burned debris would be able to go into landfills that maybe weren't able to take that kind of toxic waste. Now, whether this did or did not happen, do you care if you're a mom with 2 kids and you live next to the Calabasas landfill that it may or may not be true that that landfill is toxic? It's the point. You don't just put your trash in someone else's backyard. Yeah. And that's what we did. And we did a lot, 400,000 trucks to Sylmar and, Calabasas, Azusa, Simi Valley. And, the mayor of Azusa famously said, I found out about it when you did, to Channel 5 News. He didn't know. So they didn't ask anybody. And then they got a big hearing for a haul route. They were fighting over the haul route. And the Board of Supervisors caves and gives them what they want, but it's not actually what everybody thought. It wasn't more volume. It was more loads per day. So ECC, which was doing all the distributing of funds on behalf of Army Corps and the FEMA MATOC, got a haul route, but not private individual contractors. They had to have their own relationships. So all the debris goes into all these local landfills. I think Khloe Kardashian, and if it is you, Khloe, you should reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Got really upset and said, well, what are you guys doing? And I said the same thing months earlier. What are we doing? This is too much debris. It needs to leave to a landfill that's not anywhere around here. There's lots of landfill that's designed specifically for this. They're lined, but it's more expensive. It's further away. Plus, if you do a lay down yard, you know what a lay down yard is?
Best to explain.
So lay down yards are really important in big construction. They're prep yards, they're breakdown yards. They're where you separate debris and gravel. They're where you would lower in anything that's going to get loaded into a truck and taken off. Lay down yards are usually where the dirt really is. I was like, there's got to be a better way. Why can't we put it on rail? Then I did I love to write white papers. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that in 2007, a guy by the name of Michael Kissel, I hope he's watching this, I haven't been able to find him, wrote a white paper on creating a laydown yard in a rail setting with loadable rail car access for massive amounts of debris if there was an emergency in Puente Hills, which is 12.4 miles from the epicenter laydown yard in Altadena and 34.4 miles from Chautauqua and PCH. Mm-hmm. So all of Malibu's debris and all of Altadena's debris and all of the Palisades debris could go only freeway directly to that yard, which is more than big enough to take all of the debris because this is railroad. Mm-hmm. So, you got 4, 5, 6 trucks per car. And also it's designed for it. It's gigantic. It's massive.
You still got to get the debris onto the railroad cars, though, right?
That's right, but that's what it's for. It's a debris on rail facility.
Mm.
And all right. So it's owned by what's called the Los Angeles Sanitation District, and the white paper was drafted and sent to them. And I can't figure out when it happened, but sometime between 2007, 8, and 2014, they got the $500 million to build it. They built it. It's there. It's beautiful. And it's served by rail to a landfill.
It was built basically for this purpose.
Correct. And it's served by rail to a landfill. And the landfill is over by the LA River cleanup. It's in an area that's designed for this. It's served by Union Pacific. They built 7 miles of custom rail to make it work. And the landfill is 600 million cubic yards, and it's empty. It's closed. And they've rented the Puente Hills facility and the landfill to a trucking company for storage. It's just just the white covers, okay, for $150,000 a month for multiple years because they can't figure out how to own and operate it.
Oh my God. So
instead of mobilizing like an army and moving the trucking company, which by the way, we're perfectly fine to move. I did 2 hauling routes. I went to the city. I drove to the Puente Hills. I took pictures. I met everybody. I went to the landfill in Mesquite. I took pictures. I did everything. Instead of just saying, this is a great idea, the email's unopened. It sits in the box. I can see the email to Gavin. It's not open. So I got so frustrated.
So this is in the governor's inbox.
Unopened. Gavin, unopened. So I got so frustrated that I call Bobby Kennedy because I love Bobby. He's such a great guy. I called him and I said, oh my God, I'm so frustrated. I need help. And he goes, what's up? And I said, can you read this? I sent him my white paper. He read my white paper, obviously, because he's like interested and curious and knows how to mobilize. And he sent it to Lee Zeldin. Okay, 7 hours later, Lee Zeldin has Eric Amadon and his whole team on it. 7 hours.
This is the
guy
running the EPA right now.
These guys are on it.
Yeah.
And so just my experience is always the same. Conservative people, whether you like them or not, are workers. They're people that work and move things all the time, and they're always working, and they're always doing, and they're always like creating and going forward because that's what their passion is, versus like this whole like maybe someone else will do it mentality. And I feel like our government is not at all conservative. They're like waiting for something to happen to them in life.
It feels, somebody said to me the other day that it just feels like a conspicuous lack of urgency.
Yes.
And if you're not, if I just can't imagine living where you live, you had a front row seat to all of this. I was here. I just landed the day the fires started and had a front row seat to a degree to it. And I mean, I'll remember it the rest of my life. But for the people who really call this place home, that is going to be a defining, catastrophic event. And if that doesn't break the spell of just
mismanagement,
it's, I mean, mismanagement implies a level of action that's misguided. You're not talking about any.
Good point.
What management? You're talking about emails that aren't being opened. You're talking about facilities, big investments that were built. It's like the fire extinguishers are within reach. The structure's fully involved. But we're going to have a conversation about whether or not to access the fire extinguishers. It makes no sense. And I think people listening in different parts of the country are just shaking their head and going, you know something? Governments like TV. You get what you deserve. And these guys have got the government they deserve for a whole bunch of reasons. And it's California. And throw in the gerrymandering conversation and everything else. So much of the country doesn't know how to think about California. They're exhausted by our identity crisis, I think. They're just exhausted by it. And where a lot of people would normally feel sympathy, they don't. They just shake their head. And they go, you know what, that's a lot of rich people in a beautiful part of the world that elected a bunch of bums. And now they're reaping what they sowed.
Well, I would like to go on record and say that my love for California is beyond explainable in this podcast. And part of that is because of the people that I've met since I've been here. There's no place more cosmopolitan. There's no bigger diversity in terms of the kind of people you meet. There's no harder working people. There's lots of people, but they work really hard. And the most successful people and the everything from the acting community to the farming community it's a true American dream community. And the current administration is sabotaging it, which is frustrating. Not just Hollywood. They sabotage everything. And I don't know if it's by design or accident. I mean, I honestly don't want to give them enough credit to say it's by design. I think it's literally like so busy trying to get elected to the next position that you're so busy hustling that you're not really doing your job.
It just, I mean,
There's no, look at Gavin's been playing at this, presidential thing for well over the last few years. And to me, he hasn't been running. He's never even here. So your leader's not there. So our systems are screwed up. Our management is screwed up and our resources are squandered. We have no money. We're like $300 billion in debt now or something crazy, or will be when he leaves, whatever. And with no money, no power, and no know-how, nothing is going to get resolved. And I do not believe for a minute that that's not going to change, because this hit Democratic ground zero. And these are the people that make this state great. So these people in the Palisades, these people that are friends of mine, need to take a minute and really think about who they want to run the state, because we can't repeat this. It can't be, some assembly person from San Diego. I'm not even going to name names. There are 50 people running for mayor. There is not a single person or governor, not one. I read every one of them.
Is Gavin going to run for president?
Yeah. And the DNC, these dummies are going to fund it.
Who's going to run the state?
The state?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That is, I don't know.
I mean, I know this girl that had the shoe shine business once upon a time.
Yeah.
And then it's this denim thing, and then this rags thing, and
Rags
then
to
this real
riches.
estate. Yeah. And now she seems kind of cranky, and her kids are grown.
I don't know.
And she seems to be, she's got a pebble in her shoe,
I have a pea in my mattress.
Yes.
What an amazing opportunity to seize if you're the right person. And
In the right time.
And the right time. And I can only say this. It's a huge job. And it's almost impossible to be qualified to do it truly. And I think the difference between having success at being a governor of a state this size is through the participation of the people that you ask for help. There's just too much to fix. It's really big. And there are so many people out there individually that you could put together on a team that could right the ship if you were only willing to ask for help. And that's the problem that we have now. Karen Bass should have asked for help, and not from Steve Sobroff. She should have gone to Ron Tudor or somebody meaningful.
It goes back, I'm sorry, but it was like Jeff's point this morning. It's still the emperor has no clothes. It's still like, why didn't she ask for help? It feels like part of the reason is because you can't acknowledge the naked emperor. You can't look at unprecedented homelessness in D.C. and say, okay, that is a problem. Maybe we should do this to fix it instead of this. What you have to do instead is say, there's nothing to see. There is no homeless problem. There is no crime problem. There is no Palisades problem. There is no debris removal problem. There's nothing to see here.
Well, admitting that you have a problem is the first.
My name's Elaine.
And
I have a problem.
I'm sorry, but I have a problem. A few problems. I mean, first of all, I think that we haven't had a lieutenant governor in 3 decades that really moved the needle either. And the lieutenant governor's job is primarily to bring new business into the state. And we've done the opposite. We are run business out of the state, California.
I love this state. My office is in this state. My best friend moved here 45 years ago, or whenever you moved here. I don't know when it was. You've been here
Good
a long
old
time.
Chuck's stuck here with you in this
Chuck's stuck here with me. I'm stuck. But look,
87, that's when I moved.
87. Now look, I'm friendly with Joe Rogan, and when he talks about why he left and how happy he was to leave, a part of me is like, man,
He's not really. He's not. He's just fibbing you.
He's
gaming. He's not either. There's no way.
Oh, you're saying he doesn't love Austin as much as he's
No,
saying
you can't.
he loves Austin.
Nobody could. I don't believe Joe. I don't believe you. But I do. I believe.
Well, look, I don't disbelieve him, because I think that you can hit a critical mass of just exhaustion with a person you love, a business you love, or a state you love. Right? I think
I definitely think you
point.
get like, and sometimes like I get basically what I would call extended deal fatigue. I'm just like, wait, are we at this again?
I shot 2 series and a movie. One in Georgia, the other in Oklahoma. I would have loved to have filmed them here. I would have loved to have done all that for this community, and it would have wildly simplified my life. But the incentives, Elaine, it's just, I mean, you're a developer.
It's so fixable, though. That's a fixable thing. I mean, this is the thing I always try to hang on to, and I wish everybody would. Nothing has changed here. It's the best topography. It's the best weather. It's the most beautiful. It's an incredible lifestyle. The ocean is insane. The animals are insane. The people are insane. The restaurants are insane. It's fabulous. It's easy to get in, easy to get out, close to everything. Go down to Mexico. We have this cute little island. It's
good
perfect.
Insane. When you say insane, you're just being
beautiful.
It's insanely
Epic.
beautiful. Insanely
Epical.
epic. Yes.
Fabulous. Wonderful.
Yeah.
The only thing that's wrong is the management. It's just the government. If you get rid of the government and get in a new government, we're back. We are back. We have got to get rid of the insanity.
What the hell would Texas do?
Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
If California went,
I would go back to being Texas. They wouldn't care at all. Texas, the thing about Texans is they're pretty resilient, and I don't know that they like the hoopla.
yeah.
You know, real Texans are probably like, oh God, here comes
Here we
another
go
one.
again.
And by the way, be careful over there, because you know what happens when you invite all the Democrats to your state, they vote Democratic. And there's a lot of examples of that. How's Montana, by the way?
Big.
Yeah.
Big sky.
Big sky.
Beautiful. Dakotas are beautiful.
You know, my mom says that about Colorado. She's like, it used to be so conservative.
Sometimes the things have to go splat. Like,
We're splatted.
are
You
we?
want it to be more splatted than this?
No, I don't.
We are literally like Humpty Dumpty. Are you kidding? It's like,
Where is the Strom and Drang? Where is the protest for that? Are people just so anesthetized?
well, Madison McQueen did a poll. My friend Owen, oh my gosh. They did a poll, and you get a line, I get a poll. It said,
Crawl that, feeling fine, honey. crawl that, feeling fine, baby. You get a line and I'll get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawdad hole, honey. Baby, oh mine.
Okay, so 48% of California is conservative. 48%.
Is that right?
That is correct.
I heard 40, but okay, 48%.
48%. When you register Republican and you're from California and you believe in California and you're at the driver's license bureau, wherever you're, and you check the box Republican, it's hard because you're like, why is it not working? But check the box red. I mean, just register red, because it sends a message to Sacramento that we're done. And it doesn't matter. You can vote for whoever you want, but stop voting blue right now.
I agree with you. I hate the fact that the only way to talk about what we're talking about is to make it red versus blue or conservative versus liberal. But we have to call it something. And what you're asking people to do sounds real simple. Just check this box instead of that box.
It's so easy. It's the first step.
The business of checking is easy, but what you're asking them to do is abandon their identity and admit the thing that Mark Twain says they can't, which is we were fooled. We were lied to by the people that we voted for, and we participated, unwittingly perhaps, in a grift. And now the only way to fix it is to have a little talk with myself. I gotta, I can't just check the box until I go, something, I was fleeced. Right? And that's going to be hard for people. And I've talked to some people who live in the Palisades and one in Altadena who have changed their political worldview precisely because of the mismanagement you're talking about. But they lost everything. That's a splat. And I don't want for everybody to have to lose everything in order to have that kind of, peripetia.
Right now, there's a lot of scuttlebutt going on with Texas and with Gavin Newsom and the Democrats that walked out over the redistricting and relining the borders of certain districts. Gerrymandering. And my message to people in California is this. If Gavin Newsom is proposing it, say no to it because Gavin's leaving. And we've been under the, guise that Gavin Newsom has done a fine job running the state. He's leaving us with $300 billion of debt, and our state is burned down. I don't know how we're going to do the Olympics without help from Trump. And my guess is he's not going to leave us a parting gift that is a present that we want to open. The pushing of this agenda and many other things is really bad for us and for the state because it's pushing us further left when what we need is to try to find our center. We're off balance. And just vote for absolutely nothing that Gavin Newsom wants us to do at the end of this. And it's a special election too. And he does not have enough time. It's 120 days supermajority to do this. And he's going to do it in 90 days. And it's just not right. So don't vote for that. And yes, you guys, the Democrats might lose some seats. So what? We need to. We're out of balance. We're not in check and balance.
Well, it's certainly not. How many seats does the state have in total?
Well, this is
52.
for 5. Yeah,
5-2?
And this is for 5, I think 5 more Democratic seats. And what people need to understand is that, our farmers and our supply chain, our unions, our pay, and all of these things, they require conservative management. And the further we get away from that, the further we enslave ourselves to the state debt. And that's the problem. And people don't understand. We cannot afford it. We have got to have some conservative reins on our checkbook.
Where do people go to learn more about specifically, I'm talking to Californians now, where can they go to learn more about what you're up to, what this shoe shine girl has turned into, and how they might help if they're so inclined in your Sisyphean task?
I'm working diligently in the Pacific Palisades to put together a Pacific Palisades Building Department, the City of Pacific Palisades Building Department on Sunset in the Village. What we're fighting about right now, this is so great, this is so epic. The landlord who wanted to donate the space gets lost use insurance, and the insurance company wants to take away his lost use while he donates the space. So we're working through that, and then we're going to have a nice spot there in the Village. I'm very easy to reach on Lipstick Farmer, hashtag Lipstick Farmer on Instagram, because I am a baby boomer and Lipstick Farmer is easy for me to operate. And I have a website, of course, at Elaine Culotti, and you can also find me on everything, Twitter and the norms. And now you can find me if you just ask Mike. He has my number.
Oh, well, I know how to find you. and you will officially or unofficially begin referring to the third swan as Gibbons.
From here on out. There's no question about it. And I'm going to start reciting poetry so the next time I get in here, I can one-up you.
Final question. What would you tell people who know in their bones that Donald Trump should not be leading this country? They know it, and they'll never come around to his way of thinking, but who live in this state and share your basic concern. How should they think about what to do?
I want to say that it's really going to be wonderful to have the Olympics here. It would be amazing. I would prefer that it's not embarrassing. And there's so much work to do for that to happen. I would prefer that we have somebody who's put together already an Olympic task force who is willing to show up here and invest money in our state. We are out of the federal conversation, and I don't think people understand that. Because of the rift between Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump, we are completely left out of the conversation, which means we don't have federal assistance when we need it, and we need it. And it might be very hard, to swallow your tongue and whatever, kiss the ring, whatever you want to say. We need federal assistance because our current administration has lost or stolen, or who knows, all of our money. We don't have any money. If you don't have any money, you don't have any power. And if you don't have any power, you don't have any way to solve your problem.
Spoken like a true hybrid, an undercover billionaire, a lipstick farmer, a former shoe shine gal, from rags to, I'm tempted to say riches, but I'll just say it. You're living a big life. I'm really glad you did this. A pleasure to meet you and
Thank
know
you for giving me the platform, and I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Elaine Culotti. See you next week.
If you like what you heard,
And even if you don't,
won't you please,
pretty please,
subscribe?
Well, I hate to beg and I hate to plead, but please, pretty freaking